Tell me what I need to know about resurface.io and highlight why it's important today.
Great. Resurface is founded by a guy by the name of Rob Dickinson, and this is his second observability company. He came from the broader web observability earlier on, had a Magic Quadrant leading technology. They sold to Quest and then on to Dell, and they were places like Apple Store and big banks, et cetera. So a lot of experience. He saw an emerging problem with the absolute explosion of APIs. And APIs have been built for business, right? They're built to automate things and make revenue happen and communication and everything else, mobility, all that stuff that's touching APIs. But what happens is they're being built and they're being deployed, but they're not really being built with security in mind, which is given birth to this new industry and why Gartner's making the comments that they're making. And he decided to do things a little bit differently, taking in consideration the regulations around the world around things like data privacy, and particularly like GDPR in Europe, Japan's rules, Singapore's rules, California's rules. And he said, look, I'm going to build a cloud agnostic platform, a major operating system agnostic platform, and I'll stand up in any chipset, but we will only do it in the client environment. Whereas the competition is all doing it in the third-party environment. And the next part of this is what's critical, because if we're going to look at all of their API traffic, or our product is, we're doing that in runtime, unencrypted and unredacted. So it's everything. It's PII, it's customer information, it's whatever might be being passed through there. We don't want to do that in a third-party environment, because you start flipping switches like GDPR is processing third-party data, which is a bad thing to do. But we also, because we do it in their environment, we provide a hot data layer of the last 30 days of all their API traffic. So for the young threat hunters out there, the second a new Log4j pops up, we have this Google-like search tool that Rob built into the platform, he and his team built in, that you can simply drop that in there and it will let you know if you've been impacted in your API infrastructure at all and where in the last 30 days. So you can immediately know, you can threat hunt it, and then you can prioritize your remediations, right? So it's incredibly cool. I think the last thing which viewers, and it's funny, because when I approach big companies about their API infrastructure, very rarely do they want to tell you they don't really know what it is, right? There have been a lot of M&A, people have come, people have gone. So one of the first things that the platform does for you is give you that first look at exactly what your API infrastructure is, your north and south traffic, which is your internal, is your external, and then your east and west, which is internal, right? It's that first time you understand the totality and the outcomes of your API traffic. You got malforms in there, you've got client errors in there, you've got attacks happening, and then your ability to drill into any of them and begin a remediation process for all of them. So it's that first look, and it's like, holy cow, I had no idea. Our volume was like that, how many APIs we supported, that we actually had a ton of leaking happening, and how do I solve that problem, right? So it's fascinating space.